Hi everybody, this is Kristen from A Voice and a View doing another video tonight, and I'm outside getting a little privacy. Hopefully you can hear me with the traffic. But today's healing lesson is called All Natural Healing, and this video is really going to help you on your healing journey, especially if you're used to taking a lot of medications. And part of this journey is trying to get off as many medications as you can no longer use, if able. So before I even start, consult with your doctor. But a lot of the things that I'm going to mention on here, it's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save you a lot of money and many trips to the ER or the doctor. And I've done all of these things myself, so I'm not just throwing it out there, but I use a lot of essential oils for many ailments, and a lot of people may not agree with me on that, but I do. And I try to stay out of the doctor's office as much as possible. I don't like going anywhere near hospitals or doctor's offices. And not to say that they're not useful, because they are. We definitely need, doctors and whatnot. But, a lot of just the simple things that you can take care of on your own. And when you're in a pinch, when it's late at night and you're dealing with an issue, essential oils are your savior. And they've been my saviors many times. But if you can find this book online, this book has helped me out. I can't even tell you how many times. Like hundreds, I'm sure, hundreds and hundreds of times. I mean, I use this thing constantly, and I've used it for years. And actually the front of the cover ripped off, but I'm going to put it in front of the camera. It's called Quick Reference Guide for Using Essential Oils, and it's by Connie and Alan Higley. And I think it was $20, $25 when I bought it. Okay, so if you want to take a screenshot, can you see it? Okay. So this book, it separates, well, let's see, there's 4 or 5 different sections. But one section is problems, and then one section is the essential oils and what they do. One section is blends, where it mixes the essential oils. You can buy blends. And then there's the index, and then the references in the back to look for a specific oil, and it gives you different pages that you can look up information on it. But I can't tell you how many times it has saved me. Most of the time I can cure my own ear infections. Okay, I use purification oil on the inside well of the ear, not inside the canal. Okay, definitely don't do that. And then lavender on the outside of the ear and under the chin. And you got to make sure to blend it with a carrier oil. And so you can look that information up, because these oils are very potent. And you do that a few times a day. And make sure you don't get a ton of oil in your ear, but you'll be amazed. So, something like that will be a major help. Definitely don't do this on babies, guys. Okay, I'm not familiar with that, and I don't want to give any advice on that. Or little kids. This is for yourself. And let's see, I use oregano oil. You can get those veggie capsules. Use oregano oil. You put 1 drop in a veggie capsule, and you can use that for any like bladder issues, UTI. That's really good for you. Thieves is a big one. You can also use thieves for that. And I can use that 3 times a day, a drop in each capsule or in an 8-ounce glass of water. But that's amazing. And you can do that for 7 to 10 days, but that really helps. And there's many different things that you can use, or essential oils you can use for different ailments, but this book covers it, and it's a great resource for whenever you have something going on. And it will save you a lot of money going to the doctor or to the ER at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Another thing to use is raw honey. It's a natural antihistamine. And make sure you get your local honey. And especially now, because the winter is coming up, you might want to get a few bottles to last you through the winter. But raw honey is great for clearing up your sinuses. It's a huge help in so many ways. And like I said, make sure you get the raw honey, not the fake honey. That's not going to do you any good. But don't heat it up, because it kills the enzymes in the honey. I mean, you can have it with hot tea and that kind of thing, but for any kind of stuffy nose or allergies, whatever, just take it with a spoon and do that 3-4 times a day. I just drink it out of the bottle. That's what I do. It's a huge help. And I can't tell you how many times it kept my kid out of the hospital. He was on breathing treatments and steroids and whatever. And it seemed like we were in the hospital every weekend. It always ended up on a weekend, at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, going to the ER. But as soon as I found out about the honey, and honey can be used in so many ways, shoot. You look that up too. It's amazing. Honey is incredible. But yeah, it's a great resource, and it's really good. But I figured that out and was using it for a really long time. And then we ended up going to the hospital when we were in DC, and I was having a conversation with one of the doctors there, because I thought my kid had allergy stuff going on, and he ended up having an ear infection, and that's why his ailments weren't going away. But honey is amazing, and like I said, I had a doctor confirm it. So a lot of doctors will not mention that. They won't, so I'm just telling you ahead of time. Oh, here's another one, and this truly amazed me. For plantar's warts, you can use a raw potato. You cut it in half, and you rub the inside on the plantar's wart. You try to open it up a little bit. If you can, scrape it a little bit, open it up a little bit, but you can rub a raw potato on it 3-4 times a day, and you'll literally see it come out little by little. And it's incredible. Instead of putting your kid through pain and, a shot and all that stuff, incredible. And I did this with my daughter, because she's scared of needles, and somebody had told me about it and I tried it and it worked. So that's another amazing thing you can do. I'm trying to think. Epsom salts in the bath, that helps you detox. Helps your body in so many ways. Helps your body ground. You can put essential oils in your bath, like lavender, any kind of scent that you like. And lavender is also really good for pain, muscle pain. Amazing. As well as a really good an oil to help you sleep. And all you got to do is smell it, or you put it in the diffuser. But lavender helps calm the body, helps calm the nervous system, and it helps you sleep. So if you have like sleep apnea or any problems like that, it's a great resource, especially if you've got little kids that have issues with sleeping or don't want to go to sleep. There's so many different oils and uses for them. Frankincense is an expensive oil. It's probably, depending, if you're a distributor, I can't remember the name of, if you sell them. I think you can buy it for like $75 a bottle, and they're about like that. But very strong and potent. You don't need much. But frankincense and myrrh are two of the holy oils, and amazing uses. And helps the body. All you got to do is smell them, and you can also use them on the skin. But anytime you use essential oils, you have to use a carrier oil because they're very potent. And I forgot to mention this as well, but essential oils, a lot of people don't understand, what essential oils are. And, you think oil, like olive oil. But essential oils are, from the elements, from the elementals, like bark on a tree or, whatever. But they're natural, healing things in nature, and they're very, very potent. But God gave us all of these things in nature, guys, to use. Anything that we would need to help heal. And if you think about it, years and years ago, they didn't have medications, Shoot, I remember my parents used to say they drank whiskey, and I don't even remember the combination. I know one thing was castor oil, when they got sick. But years, generations before that, they didn't have a lot of the medications that we have now. So they used a lot of natural stuff from the earth. And the Native Americans did as well. There's a lot of healing properties in plants and flowers. Dandelion root, you got to look into dandelion root. You can put that in tea, and that helps your body in so many ways. But a lot of these natural things that you can do to help heal yourself and not have to go to the doctor and spend all this money, and especially if you don't have health insurance, or you're limited on money and don't want to spend $500 just to go to the ER. Now, I've accumulated many essential oil, different essential oils, buying them over the years. You put them in your cupboard and you keep the light off of them, because they need to be in a dark place, because they're sensitive to light. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I've had, gosh, I don't even know how many I have, but with this book that I have, it's amazing. You look up any ailment that you have, and it will tell you exactly what essential oil you need or a blend. Uh, and so if you have something frequently, an ailment that you have frequently, look at, get this book and look up what oils you need for that ailment. And, but it's a great resource. And again, I will put it on here if you can see it. Okay. But it's called Quick Reference Guide for Using Essential Oils by Connie and Alan Higley. So yeah, such a great resource. And I can't tell you how many times it saved me from going to the doctor for an ear infection, and so many other things. I'm trying to think of some other great resources. Just off the top of my head, I think those are the basic ones, but yeah, such a great book. And I hope they still sell it, because yeah, it's been gosh, at least 10 years since I bought this book. So like I said, I can't tell you how many times I've used it. I've got things circled, I've got little tabs. And I know exactly what to do when I have a situation going on. So I've done this with my kids. So anyways, this is just a quick video to mention a few of these things. And I know, some of you're not going to be able to get off some of your medications, and especially if it deals with serious organs, like your heart or whatever. But I know that they have information in here about that as well. But frankincense and myrrh are amazing healing oils, and they're used in so many ways. But like I said, I know you're not going to be able to get off your medications or off all of them, some of you, but try to, if you can. Some of the medications, they're easy to get off of. I know my kids were on quite a few, or at least my son was, and I stopped them all, and I was able to help his situations in a lot of other ways. So yeah. So hopefully this information helps you. And the essential oils that I use are Young Living brand and doTERRA. And I believe it's the same family that owns both companies. I think there's two different brothers that own the companies. I can't remember, but I looked into that years ago. But I know that there's other brands out there that I've heard that are really good. So you'll just have to do some research on them, ask some questions, the potency on them. Some of them are less potent than others. And just go to your local, your Whole Foods market or health food store and ask some questions. And I don't know if there's any farmers markets that are going on still, before the winter. But sometimes they carry them. And raw honey, they carry a lot of raw honey and a lot of the natural stuff. Well, even your soaps, You know, crap, I can't remember the name of that. There's an ingredient in shampoo that, you know, you should probably stay away from, you know, especially if you have gluten allergies. What the heck? Oh, I'll have to look that up and mention that on my next video. And I think it starts with a B. But anyways, you know, your shampoos, conditioners, body wash, you know, they make the all natural stuff for your hair and your skin without that ingredient in it, and really helps if you've got a gluten allergy. So those are just some tips, and I hope this helps. And like I said, consult your doctor if you need to on this information. And you know, a lot of doctors are not going to agree with it. You know, they want to prescribe meds, you know, the pharmaceutical companies. I'm not going to go into that. But, you know, medications are needed. You know, I'm not going to say they're not. But a lot of the things you can use on your own and not have to go to the doctor every single time you have a ailment that happens regularly. That's regularly. But yeah, I hardly ever go to the doctor, guys, and it's amazing, these oils, but they come from all natural ingredients. So, anyways, I hope this information helps, and that's it for tonight, guys. And this is Kristen from A Voice and a View. Have a great night. Bye. Love you all. Love you all. Peace, love, and light. Bye.